Good morning, Sagittarius. Look, I try to make everything look pretty for y'all, but it rarely works, Sag. Okay. Happy Wednesday. Wednesday is usually the day that I go live, and I will sincerely try just to come in and talk with y'all. But Sagittarius, this is your daily reading. It doesn't necessarily mean that these things will happen today, but these are the messages that you need to hear today, Sagittarius. And as usual, I do an extended reading for the daily readings every day. Yes, I do. If you want more information, and we will take a deeper dive on whatever situation is showing up here, and also what you might be dealing with each sign. I'm going to keep it on that structure, Sagittarius. Sagittarius. And also, if you like the reading, like me, whatever, want to be part of our little family, please like and subscribe. Yes, let's do this. Sagittarius, I feel, and I don't know if you feel it. Okay, let's slow down a minute. So there has been a square with Venus, Mars, and Uranus. So that's definitely, that can be a little discomfort, to be honest, right? And I was feeling it yesterday. I have to say that yesterday I felt a little bit of a struggle. Like I felt a little bit of some low vibing energies, not coming from other people necessarily. It was just so blah for me that I like couldn't do a random reading, Sag. I, you know, but let's see. Let's hopefully this is clearing because I feel like there is something very important energetically going on for you, Sagittarius. You may not see it, but you're really being called. Balance is showing up again like so much, Sag. It was showing up yesterday and it's showing up all over the place, Sagittarius. It's calling for you to definitely to step into healing, right? Because in your overall energy is the sun, which is your life force, and Raku. Okay. These cards are so beautiful. Let me show them to you, just in case you can't see them. They're so beautiful. This is the Oracle of Ascendants. So, what's happening here is that you're being called to balance out negative energies. Um, and yesterday we were, if you haven't seen it, maybe you should look at yesterday's reading, but we're very much being called to balance things for ourselves. And it just, things are changing and it might not seem that way because you know, whatever, we've been waiting for big major change and Uranus is going to make that happen. And the thing is, Sag, with Uranus, it could go either way. It could go either way. I hear that Taurus is being raked over the coals currently, but because I always think of Uranus as, surprise, change is here, and we never know how it's going to go with Uranus. So, yeah. So you're really being called to balance and to ground. And since Chiron, if you don't know your Chiron, I suggest you look into it. Chiron is your wound, is your spiritual wound, your child wound. We're being called, since it's with the North Node in Aries, we are definitely being called towards healing. And these are like, they could be childhood wounds. I have Chiron in Pisces, which makes it that much more ridiculous, especially in Pisces season. And Pisces wants healing. definitely from the soul level. But, you're being asked to look at whatever negative energy you might be flowing in, because, it's time to balance that out. It definitely is. And I feel like a lot of this may be playing out in relationships for you. Now, look at it as more than just, romance, because everything's not about that. I mean, this is about relationships in our life and how we show up. And there seems to be some clearing happening, because we are going to have an eclipse in Libra, which is very important when it comes to, like, we've been moving past people pleasing energies and such. And Sagittarius can really fall under that, because we tend to overhelp, right? We do. We do. We tend to overhelp. And all last night, I was thinking about shadow work and talking about shadow work and talking about shadow itself. Okay? Because we all should do it. But what's interesting is, in your environment, I do feel like your relationships may be balancing out. These are your existing connections. And it's not just like, things people doing things, right? It's really, there's a reciprocal energy coming in around you. Exchanging gifts, which a lot of times for me is the Six of Pentacles, and a leg up. Like, there's showing up in a helpful reciprocal energy with each other, which is really interesting, because I feel like, but the truth is what you're learning, I feel, is because you're learning to value your own time as much as your relationships. So this is important for Sagittarius, because we are overgivers. No one asks us to do it. That's what you have to understand too, before you like put in there about, people being takers and all of that. No one asks Sag to do it. We just do it. And then, honestly, I feel like we do it and then we get mad because people aren't reciprocating what we're putting out, right? But sometimes they didn't ask for it, and that's what you need to take a look at if you haven't already. But I feel like this is something that we've been doing, and we've been learning about when to pull ourselves back and focus on ourselves, because get grounded is here, right? With balance. And your mindful message is about, having like a balance between what you give to others and what you give to yourself, like definitely showing up in your relationships, but also knowing when to not show up, when to show up more for yourself. I surround myself with people I love and I enjoy my time with them, but I also take time to nurture my relationship with myself. And so I feel like that's going on, Sag. It's really funny. And I also feel like it's almost like you're taking the negativity out of your relationships as it pertains to you, right? So if you feel particularly like you give too much in relationships, you're finding the balance in that and understanding that that's a you thing. And any negative feeling you might have towards that is something you need to heal. If you feel that you give too much in relationships, give less. Give less. That, and Sagittarius very much is, we are a mirror. We tend to mirror what other people show to us. So, like if you only talk to me on Tuesday, I'm only going to talk to you on Tuesday. And, we might not start off that way, but once we see that's what's being reflected, we kind of adapt to that. And then people don't understand, well, what happened to Sag? Well, we're giving what you're giving. But you can look at it from another angle. right? Because we all give from our own personal truth. And so, the universe is saying, Sag, maybe it's not so much, that you need to mirror people, but maybe what that mirror is showing you that is that you need to give as much care to yourself as you give to other people. I just had this, I had a personal reading recently, and I was talking a little bit about expectations. And I see this whole thing everywhere about, we shouldn't have expectations. What? What the heck? Yes, indeed, we should have expectations. Yes, we should. We decide what we do with them if our expectations aren't met, but we should definitely have expectations. I don't even, I know that whole thing is said so that we don't feel disappointed when people don't live up to them, but it can also really be like a moniker for you to know how you're dealing with certain things. Like if someone doesn't meet your expectations, then maybe they're not for you. I don't know. But that's my personal thoughts on that. What would be good for you is you're definitely being called to a beginner mind. There may be some things being reset in this whole energetic balance, right? Because you're definitely changing in terms of how you give, because you're giving as much to you as you give to other people. And I feel like what you're going to find is that people actually will show up in the way that they reciprocate, right? And so, but you're definitely being called to take the negativity out, because clear your energy is here too. Like, this is playing your career, but really it's about creating strategy for yourself and creating for whatever it is that you want to achieve. And so it may be time for you to clean wipe the slate clean, Sag, and start over. Maybe that's what this whole balancing thing is about. Wowza. Oh, I just got the chill too, Sag. So underneath the deck here was conflict, unexpected change, and spiritual growth and practice. I do feel like there's a lot of change coming in. I do feel like it may be I don't feel like it's a fight. I don't feel like there's a fight here. I feel like this is just about unexpected changes of direction, these energetic shifts, and what may be good for you is really to engage in spiritual practice. Now, spiritual practice is every day, Sagittarius. Every day. And to be honest, and this was one thing that I wanted to talk about, it's what we learn in the shadow. Okay, because both things are necessary. Shadow is necessary and light is necessary. We shine light on the shadows, and I feel like that might be what's happening. And it is bringing in growth. That is when we learn the most, in our conflicts, right? And so I feel like there might be a surprise coming to you, Sag. And I also feel like you are definitely going to need to be grounded, maybe even institute spiritual practice. For anyone who's interested, I can talk about spiritual practice in my podcast and what I do, but everyone, as I always say, does things their own way. So Sagittarius. Events of the day. Ding, ding. There's new information coming, and I feel like this is all tied together. It may be, anxiety, stress, and all I could think about was the tower. It's like something new is coming, Sag, because we're seeing new adventure here, and that's what you've been wanting, right? but for some reason it's stressing you out. But that also feels like maybe it's not coming the way you thought it would. Maybe also when we've been wishing for things for long periods of time and really not getting them, that when we get them, it does come through kind of stressful. That's why it's reminding me of the Tower. In terms of you here, Sagittarius, Page of Cups, Eight of Cups, and the Star. Like, wowza, Sag. I do feel as if you're moving towards your destiny. There's definitely something. It feels like there's something involving sacrifice here, or that maybe you had given up, basically, and I feel like the Page of Cups is tied to the new information. And this is new information for something that you had to leave behind and you didn't want to. Because with the Eight of Cups, to be honest, it's when we've got nothing left to give to something. And at some point you had nothing left to give. You were abandoning hope here, really. And hope is returning. How this is affecting you is very weird, Sag. I can feel emotions like crazy, because the Five of Cups and the Queen of Cups, I feel like the Five of Cups is a little bit of a rough energy, but there's always hope that things will work out. And I feel as if you might feel good about this, because I feel like you hoped this would work out, but didn't hold a lot of hope for it, right? The Five of Cups can be doing something the wrong way, right? And maybe you were really being hard on yourself, or have been hard on yourself about it, and now, it could be like just settling your energy, because especially if something had been showing you signs that it really wasn't going to work out, and all of a sudden there's a little bit of hope. And with the Queen of Cups, it's kind of sitting in your self-care, because I don't know if and you may even be really consulting with your intuition. I don't know if I should believe this, because of the past. But there is information coming, Sag. And it's good information. Maybe it's a new way, because there's something definitely new. Yes. So your advice is the Hangman, the Six of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles. Now, the Six of Cups often is the past. And you're needing to think differently about something. Okay, the Hangman is about surrender. And with the Knight of Pentacles, that's definitely about actions, right? And maybe this is also about a new plan, Sag. Because, the Six of Cups is a turnaround. The Six of Cups is actually a good card, where something is working out, but you're going to have to change and maybe surrender an old way. So, because I feel like Spirit is calling for you to start over in some way, and you might not want to, because the Knight of Pentacles is about planting new seeds and stuff, and being like, oh God, I have to start over. Yeah, Sag, you do. You do, because there's a different way for you to have what you want, and really all it's about is being on board. Nine of Swords is on the bottom. Oh my goodness. The Hierophant. The Ace of Swords. Yeah, this is really about outside the box thinking for me. Because you thought things were going to go a particular way, and you were very much committed to that way, and now you're having to face the truth that isn't the way. That isn't the way. But there's another way, Sag. There's still a way for you to get what you want. Look at this, Eight of Pentacles again. There's a new way for you. And yes, does that involve a learning curve? It does. It does. And it also involves other people in some way. And it may actually, these people, interesting. Three of Pentacles, King of Cups. Now, the King of Cups also tends to help other people more than they help themselves. And that's definitely ending for you. Three of Cups, Judgment, the Seven of Wands. I feel like, too, you're not so sure. You may be resisting this new way, and maybe because it involves other people. But as much as, because you're trying to be this person who doesn't overgive, there's not overgiving here. There's people working together. But you've got to let your guard down enough to be able to see that, Sagittarius. Wow. Wow, Sag. So we're going to get a final card for your from your angel, Sagittarius. So there definitely is a change coming. Let's get a final word for Sagittarius. What do they need to focus on? Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Oh. Steady progress. We acknowledge you for the progress you've made in remembering love in your daily activities. Take action out of love. Okay, steady progress in a creative project. Your prayers and positive expectations have been heard and answered. So something's about to happen, Sag. Okay, now. So I hope you have the best day ever. Toodles.